Now, Eyewitness Sports.
Welcome to another edition of WPRI OOT.
Are you like singing while you're saying of?
I'm just really happy that we have the full crew.
It's been a while.
We have the full crew together.
Didn't we have the full crew last time or no?
No, it's been a couple weeks.
No, I think we did last time. We had the full
Football
crew.
season weighing us down.
Yeah, it's been rough. Love it though. Love the grind. Hashtag grind. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. You want to just dive right into that first question?
Dive.
All right. Big win for this. You want to do the Yanni preface of we're taping this at 4 o'clock on
Friday.
On Friday. The C's beat the Warriors last night for their 14th straight win. What did we learn from that game, guys?
I learned that the Celtics are legit. Now, not that I didn't already think that they were legit, but this confirmed to me that they are legit. My big question, here's the thing that I need to decide, and I thought of this and tweeted this last night. The Celtics are an elite defensive team, but I always thought it was because of their young, hungry players that allowed them to play so ferociously on the defensive end. At what point do I decide and conclude that this group is an elite, consistent defensive team and not just some team that's young and hungry and, come playoff time or the second half of the season, they won't be able to put forth these defensive efforts? Because that was an elite defensive effort last night against the best team, the best offensive team, a team that had averaged over 100 points. I think it was only once in November they had scored under 100 points. They're usually over 100 points, averaging like 109. So that is a defensive effort that can win you a championship. Will they? That's not what I'm saying. I don't think they could do that right now. That conversation we'll have in a little bit. But an elite defensive team. But yeah, I came away from that thinking, when am I going to establish and conclude that this team will play defense akin to that the rest of the season? And it's not just because they're young and hungry and excited that the NBA season has started.
So you're almost on your toes a little bit. Like you want to feel confident that this is consistent and this is going to be how they play all season, but you're just a little bit like, let's let the beginning of the season hype wear out a little bit.
No NBA game really matters until April. But this was a big boy win. A huge stage. Earlier in the week, Steve Kerr calling the Celtics the team of the future in the East. Going into the night, I think it was a win-win for the Celtics. If they lose, all right, you lose against the champs you weren't supposed to win. If they win, all right, that's a huge win, because I think the Warriors came into Boston like, hey, the Celtics are getting a lot of buzz. This is sort of a litmus test, even though they're in a different conference. And for the Celtics to win, hold them under 90 points, you talked about defense, without really playing that well. No one really shot above 50%. Jaylen Brown had a great game. I didn't think Kyrie played all that great, but it was a big boy kind of grinded out win. And I think if you're going to beat Golden State, you have to play in the 90s, because if they're scoring 120, you probably can't keep up with them. So it's a big win, but we've seen them beat the Warriors in the last couple years. I think they won at Golden State last year. So it doesn't prove that much to me. It's just they're there. They're at that level. And I think if they come out of the East, and we'll talk about this, they can play with the Warriors. Do I think they're better than Golden State? No, obviously.
Here's some things I took away. The C's played fine. They played well, but the Warriors didn't play well at all. I mean, I don't think they played well. They didn't play to their full.
Neither did Kyrie Irving.
Neither did Kyrie.
Neither did Jason Tatum.
Neither did Jason Tatum. Although, that brings me right into my next point. This was a big game for me for Jason Tatum. I think the way that he was able to his composure has been what's most impressive for me. He's 19 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's playing the defending champs. You dream about this day your entire life, and you make 2 free throws to seal the deal. I mean, like at the very end of the game, you make both free throws. I mean, that's when the pressure's on. We find out who you are as a player, and he was unbelievable. Also, obviously, love Jaylen Brown. There was that storyline of him playing. One of his close friends, I guess, died the day before that morning or something. I also saw today, this was a nice note, he posted something that Jaylen had 22 points last night and his friend wore number 22, which I think I always love those little notes. But I was really impressed by the youth in this team. Really impressed. I was listening to something that was like, everyone thought they would bounce back, without Gordon Hayward, but no one expected this. No one expected them to be this solid without him. So it's going to be exciting, when Gordon Hayward
they'll lose to a mediocre team.
Atlanta on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's always how it goes.
But this was huge.
Let's remember where the Patriots defense was about 5 weeks ago.
Right.
Seasons are long.
Yes.
This team has played great. They've been on fire. 14 straight and counting, but it's a long season, and there could be issues that resurface or surface 2 months from now that could make you for a minute forget about the hot start. So there's that. The other thing is, you know what else? Last night after the game, I just flipped over to NBA TV, and I love Jason Tatum. But let's put it in perspective. 19 years old. They were showing the 1998 All-Star Game on NBA TV around 11 p.m. last night Eastern. Kobe Bryant starting in the All-Star Game at 19 years old.
That's Kobe Bryant.
So that's Kobe Bryant.
A top 10
so,
player
I'm not
maybe.
saying, I'm not trying to compare. We all love Jason Tatum, but this guy, we'll see how he does. But a big win. You can take something away from it, but like you said, at the end of the day, this is a November NBA basketball game, and we're not going to think about this much. It's not like the Warriors hadn't been beat this year. Other teams have beaten them. So we'll see.
What do we got next?
All right, next. How would this? Here we go. This is what we've been alluding to. But how would the C's and the Warriors match up in a series?
I think Golden State still wins in 5, maybe 6. I don't think it's a 7-game series. If Golden State is at home and the threes are falling, they're a pretty tough out. They didn't play particularly well last night. Neither did the Celtics. So I think the Celtics could get a game or 2 in a best-of-7, but I think they'd probably fare better than Cleveland did last year. But if they can sustain this and have Gordon Hayward, let's set up some finals for the next 3 or 4 years with these two, because that'd be fun to watch.
Absolutely.
I'll say this. Last year, I would have been comfortable betting the house, injuries aside, that the Celtics were going to lose to the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. I would have been comfortable putting the house on that. If they played the Warriors and Celtics in the NBA Finals, I wouldn't be comfortable putting the house on it. Now, I would think the Warriors would win, and I'd feel somewhat confident in that, but I wouldn't bet the house. I could have comfortably bet the house last year that the Celtics were not going to beat the Cavaliers. So that says something to me. They're there. They're closer than they were. They're not going to beat this team.
They're not afraid.
They're not going to beat this team.
They're not afraid. And they have as good of a coach as Kerr is. You could maybe make the argument that Brad Stevens is as good or better.
They appear to match up well. We'll see. They play again in January in Oakland. But this is a team and an organization that hasn't been afraid, like you said, of the best organization, team, talent in the league over the course of the last few years.
Like you said, I would agree with it being a good series, a solid, split series. Warriors would come out. I would love to see that. I would love to see that play out because I think there's a fire in the Celtics team. If this continues throughout the season, I think they have this is new, we're young, we're 19, we're 22, we're, whatever, that would maybe give them an edge in a finals.
Unbelievable opportunity for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to be on a contender at their age as top 3 draft
Can I just say one other thing? Kyrie Irving, what kind of move was that for him to come here? I'm saying it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Like, he wanted the spotlight. He wanted somewhere where he was going to be the star. They're chanting MVP, and they've played 15 games, and they're chanting MVP at him.
Trade is a check plus right now.
It could not have started better for Kyrie Irving, this experience in Boston.
You just looked at me like I was going to say that they were bad.
I didn't know.
No, it was good. I'm happy for him. Okay, let's move on to football. Patriots, Raiders in Mexico City Sunday. What are we thinking here?
Pats win double digits. The defense has turned a corner. 5 straight games, giving up 17 points or less. And I think we're seeing all the weapons Tom Brady has now at tight end. He has Gronk, Marty Bennett, even Dwayne Allen can catch a touchdown pass. Rex Burkhead's coming along. Deion Lewis is running the ball and in special teams. James White, of course. Then you have all the receivers. Even Hogan's not playing, but so many weapons. I think their offense is so dynamic that Oakland's not going to be able to stop them under 30 points. And I think the Patriots defense has showed us that they've become more solid in recent weeks, fixing those communication issues. So I think the Pats win by double digits.
I don't think Bill Belichick would ever admit this. I don't think he has admitted this. But the way the Patriots seem to win games is they'll play defense that's good. They want to play good defense. They've never really been atop the league in terms of yards and, they were last year points, and Bill Belichick like that. But as far as the eye test, they've never really had the best, most shut down, pass defense, run defense in the league. They want to play good defense, let Brady win the game because their offense has been so elite under Tom Brady. That's not how you beat the Patriots, okay? Other teams can't come in and try to beat them like that, where their defense plays decent, and then they can just outscore the Patriots with their offense, that doesn't work usually. I think that's the only play the Raiders have here. Their defense isn't good enough. In order to beat the Patriots, I still think you need to defend the heck out of them. Shut them down, Rex Ryan. Shut them down, Giants, in that defensive line. That's how you beat them in big spots. And I think the Raiders will try to outscore them and hope their defense can hang in. I don't think they will, and I think the Patriots will win by double digits.
There are obviously those fluky things of Gresh keeps saying, don't drink the water. And, and you're in Mexico City. It's a new environment, which is not an issue for the Patriots, as we talked today about how they've fared overseas and in foreign venues. But, and they've been practicing in Colorado City, which is similar elevation. Oakland's been practicing in Oakland, which is not similar. So, and I think that's more of a factor than people make it out to be. It wasn't an issue necessarily for the Patriots in Denver, but then again, they're playing the Broncos that are.
I'm excited for to see how the whole game is packaged, being in Mexico. And I think it's their first 4 o'clock game this year. They've been all ones or night games.
Right. Yeah.
Should be nice.
Correct. All right, next. Staying in football, what do you make of the power struggle in the NFL right now? Can I just go ahead and say I just think it's annoying and almost boring?
So the backstory being Roger Goodell's pretty much having a 12-year-old girl fight with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones allegedly said that if you think Robert Kraft gave it to you over Deflategate, he's a little blank. I'm going to give it to you bad. Let me start by saying Jerry Jones is a bad mother effer, right? Ooh. And he does not go down to anyone. He bought the Cowboys in the late 80s, early 90s when people told him he shouldn't. And he has created the best sports brand internationally. I think they're the most profitable business. So I love that he and Goodell are butting heads. I think it's interesting these rich white guys are just getting after it. How Robert Kraft comes in. Listen, I think we'd all agree Kraft kind of played it both ways during Deflategate. Hey, Patriot Nation, I'm behind you. I don't want to go against the league. I'm one of 32. So I think you can nitpick at how Robert Kraft handled Deflategate. It seemed like when all the other owners were going against Robert, he kind of went with them, even to his own organization's detriment. Ultimately, you'd have to think the league is bigger than one owner. But Jerry Jones is the most influential owner, and if he can kind of get some guys on his corner and they go against Goodell, there could be some fireworks. So I think this whole thing's really interesting.
I don't know how you could be at all loyal to the Patriots and not love what Jerry Jones is doing.
Right.
Do I care about Jerry Jones? No. Do I like Roger Goodell? No. But I love this scenario. I want to see it. It's like when, not so much a friend of your, what's the saying? An enemy to a friend of your enemy, or whatever. I don't even know what the saying is. Yeah. But you know what I'm trying to say. Like a friend of your enemy is your friend. That was wrong. But I love the fact that they are going at it because I can just sit back and watch how this plays out. The team that we cover, the team that that we root for up in this region isn't affiliated.
Right.
So let them deal with the drama.
Yeah.
I don't care. But Roger Goodell, as a result, has a headache. And that pleases me, basically, because the Deflategate was a pain in the butt for him, for the Patriots. It was the Patriots and Tom Brady were wrong to at least a certain extent. So this is nice for me to be able to sit back and watch and enjoy and see what Jerry,
But
take the gloves off. Let's go. I can't wait to see.
That would be great if it was a pay-per-view fight. How petty is it that he only starts disagreeing with Roger once his guy is suspended?
That's fine. I don't care. Yeah, that is a little bit, but I don't care.
Wait, pause. So I haven't been totally up to speed with this. So explain to me Robert Kraft's positioning in this.
Robert Kraft essentially decided that it was best for everyone to be a good partner. Instead of backing and doing what the fans and maybe what was best for Tom Brady and the organization and fully backing his guy and his
although he had the
company.
one press conference where he went against the NFL, but
well,
he quickly.
I'm saying in terms of
it's pretty much
current
just Jerry
conflict.
Jones calling out Robert Kraft. You think another big-time owner gave you a headache? Wait till you see what I have in store. But calling Robert Kraft an expletive.
Calling him a little wussy for not going after Roger Goodell when his team was screwed. They were screwed, and he sat back and took it. And Jerry is saying, I'm not taking this. F that. We're going after this guy.
I'm Jerry Jones and do what I want.
That's right. And I think a lot of Patriots Nation, New England Nation, would have liked to have seen him respond that way. He didn't, and he knew he was going to get criticized. That's what that whole press conference was about in San Francisco.
Jerry's a cowboy.
In May of whatever the year was.
Jerry?
I mean, I love his persona.
Yeah,
You-
I'm not going to invite him to
He's
my
not
kid's
a
No,
great
no,
birthday
no,
party.
no. But
I don't
you
think
love
he's a good
he's a
person
good guy
now.
to people watch.
Yeah, he's fun. He's
Yeah.
entertaining.
His face is
Absolutely.
also like.
What is that slogan? What is that slogan I was trying to
Tony,
say?
do you know
Your-
that slogan?
A friend
of your enemy is your
friend, that's what it is.
No,
A friend-
An
an enemy
of your friend is
I don't know.
your enemy.
Wow. Pathetic.
an enemy of your enemy is your.
No.
Yeah, that's a good
No.
one too, though. Tony.
All right, one more.
All right, one more. Ooh, okay, it's college hoop. Let's talk a little bit about Rhode Island college hoop life. Early impressions of PC in your eye.
The big thing that I have to say about this that disappoints, I can't even put into words how much this disappoints me.
I know what you're gonna say.
That EC Matthews for URI will miss the Providence game. Is that right? Is that confirmed?
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks.
I mean, I can't even tell you how disappointed I am. URI, if you don't know, they have been dominated by Providence recently. Has Dan Hurley ever beat Providence? I don't think so.
They got
So
close last year.
They've gotten close
Every
a few
year
times.
they're
Every year
close.
they're close.
Every year is close.
But I wanted to see, you want to see that game at full strength.
Yep.
With EC, the best player, maybe in the whole thing, in the series. That's up for debate, I guess. But he's one of the best, maybe the best player on URI.
And
I
you
think
see
the
for it
best
to be
player
his
is-
last
He's the best
year.
player on both teams. You love to see him. You got to see them at full strength. You got to this game at the Ryan Center.
Yeah.
URI finally has a good chance to beat them, as good as PC is. The fact that he will not be able to play in this game just sucks. When we asked Dan about it, in the next few weeks, that's going to suck. The whole thing sucks.
Yeah.
It stinks.
I think
mean,
injuries.
Hurley, I think, is because it's 4 to 6 weeks, much more tolerable than 2 years ago when he tore his ACL and was out for the year.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have great guard depth, and Hurley said we're business as usual. When we get him back, it's like getting a free agent acquisition. So they'll be fine in conference play, but they have a tough out-of-conference schedule because they know the A-10 is going to be weak this year. So no PC game, that hurts. They go to Brooklyn during Thanksgiving without EC, that hurts. So that in terms of this game, but PC's also playing without Emmett Holt, who has
That's what I
that
was
Yeah.
gonna say. I was just
stomach
gonna
thing,
say
so no
injuries.
one's full.
But Emmett Holt isn't what EC is to Providence.
Well, EC's been here for 25 years.
Yeah.
This is his 5th year. He's played every game since a freshman. Other than the year he got
But look,
hurt.
and not to get, I would like to be able to make some kind of educated conclusion about both teams after that game. Without EC, that's tough to do. I mean, he's their best player. He's been around the longest, as you said. I want to be able to say, URI did this well, or URI, or
See, you want that game as your litmus test of who's
Well, I
better than
want
them.
to see. Yeah, I want them to be able to prove something to me.
But disregarding that game, PC beat Washington last night. They play St. Louis tonight. They lose to Minnesota, 15th ranked in the country. So they've looked good so far. Obviously, the Minnesota loss, you can't hurt them because that's a good team. URI obviously loses, tough environment in Nevada. They're going to kill Holy Cross on Sunday. So they are kind of who we thought they were so far. No major surprises, I'd say.
Yeah, I think my earliest impressions is that I'm really impressed. I'm impressed with PC, especially after dealing with Holt without having Holt potentially for the majority of the season. And then I guess EC, it's just a heartbreaker for him more than anything. I mean, it's his 5th year. He wants to beat PC. He wants to play in that game.
You're big on fats.
Big on fats, Russell. So I talked to Hurley about this, and I just felt like this EC injury has some bright sides, and that they do have this guard depth, and there are a bunch of guys sitting on that bench that want to get out there and feel like they deserve to be out there and can play, namely freshman Fats Russell, who can hoop. I mean, this kid is running all over the floor. He is one of the best players. It was really fun to watch him in that Nevada game, because I think he kind of stepped up a little bit in that game. I stayed up for that game. I was at 11:30. Yeah, I'm dedicated. Dedicated to my job.
You stayed up.
Yeah.
You changed your cable package. You said you didn't have ESPNU.
I didn't have
That's
ESPNU,
dedication.
which I've been debating, because it also includes MLB Network, NFL Network, which I can usually access elsewhere, through online. And I was like, I just gotta do it.
I agree with the overall premise that big picture, losing EC and then getting some other guys involved and then getting him back won't be a bad thing. I mean, that could help them.
Yeah.
Just in the short term. This game is one of the few early where we can all get excited and they're not going to think that way, but we do.
Other than injury, though, what are your first impressions?
I think they both look exactly the way I thought they'd look. Good, strong, solid, ready to rock.
Really
so that's
good.
good. Yeah.
Really good. Is that it, guys?
Yeah, we got to roll.
We got to roll. We got to go see some football. High school football playoffs. Woo woo. I'm excited.
Hendrick and LaSalle, inevitable.
Hey, All right, let me just say
You
know
don't
how
that.
I
play
feel.
the games.
You know how I feel.
Don't get Don Darrow going on Hendrick and LaSalle.
Do you have anything to add? All right.
All right, that'll do it for another edition of WPRI OOT. You can find all of our episodes on WPRI.com. Make sure you listen to our podcast on iTunes. Woo-hoo. All right, thanks you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.